I know that as a yoga teacher, it can be really difficult to guide a class without demonstrating. Now, demonstration has its time and its place, but if you have it as a crutch and you're using demonstration constantly, which then is taking away from your ability to observe your students and see what's going on in order for you to respond in real time appropriately, that's when demonstration is no longer working for you. Now, I want to share with you some tips that you can use in your classes and outside of your classes as well to be able to demonstrate less, to be able to step away from the crutch of the mat so you can begin to see more, you can begin to respond to your students. Because if you're just purely demonstrating, your class ends up being more of an orchestrated, conducted performance as opposed to you in real time seeing, responding, and then adapting your classes to begin to deliver your students what it is that they need at that point in time. So the first thing that you can do is in your classes, pick a sequence that you feel very familiar with, very, very well known to you, and then choose to very intentionally not demonstrate that. And it doesn't matter if your students are looking like they're a little bit lost. It doesn't matter if your students are finding it difficult. You know what that sequence is in your body enough to not have to physically do it. You can just speak it. So start with that. Start with something that is very attainable, achievable for you, something that's very familiar for you, and do not demonstrate it. Then repeat that sequence as many times in your class as you need to, or that pose, it might just be one pose, or it might be like 1 to 3 poses. It doesn't have to be a whole long shebang. Repeat that as many times as you need to in that class until all of your students are on board and you feel like you've been able to really nail down in that practice, guiding your students through that pose, that string of poses, or that sequence without actually doing the poses. That's one thing you can do in your class. Now, what you can do outside of your class is to practice a pose or a sequence with a friend or a family member, and again, do the same thing. Now, this is a pose or a sequence that you don't feel as comfortable with not demonstrating. It's a pose or a sequence or a string of poses that you feel is maybe not as embodied for you, and you want to learn to teach it without having to demonstrate it so you can see and you can respond to your students and their needs. So you can do that outside of the class with a friend, a family member, another teacher, anyone, and you just work your way through only using your words to get them through this pose or this string of poses or this sequence. And whatever you do, do not demonstrate. Struggle through it. Let them know beforehand, hey, I am practicing, not demonstrating, so this might be a little bit painful and a little bit arduous, but can you just be patient? Because I'm going to try to find the words to get you to understand what it is that I want you to do. That is another way. Now, even further to that, a third way is you can repeat a sequence, a string of poses, or one pose as you are doing a task that has nothing to do with having a body in front of you and teaching. Example, when you're driving, when you're brushing your teeth, when you're doing the dishes, when you're doing something that is a little bit more habitual for you and you don't have to concentrate too much to do it. Yes, I'm aware you have to concentrate while you're driving, so please be safe about this, but something that isn't too demanding for you. And instead, you can repeat this and you can speak it as you're doing this other task, as you're doing this other thing, and you can get it more embodied. So basically you can do it with your eyes closed. Then you don't need to physically demonstrate it. And the point of doing it during some of these tasks is that you are not able to actually use your physical body. So when you're driving, when you're doing the dishes, when you're brushing your teeth, maybe you do it while you're sitting on the toilet and you are able to just have your physical body be preoccupied with something else so that you can have it come from more of an embodied place, more of a place of memory, and you can walk someone through the steps with your words instead of using your physical body. These are some really great tips that you can use. Please let me know in the comments if these are helpful, or if you have any questions about this, and subscribe to my channel if you are really enjoying teaching tips just like this one.